Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ROOZ F1 Season 4, Round 4. Now there may be some confusion. We're in a classic car, yet this is still a ROOZ main series race. Therefore, we'll be pushing as hard as we can, but of course, classic cars, particularly this 95 Ferrari, haven't done pretty much any running in it. And unfortunately I mistimed my qualifying to the point where I ran out of fuel after 3 flying laps. At the time only good enough for 4th, and the time left wasn't enough to improve. You'll see how close I got to the line. The ticker ends at 0 right there, right before the line. Top 4 on the grid, top 2 rows. Isn't too bad. We've got Kart Dude on pole. We've got our championship rival potentially, Stig, Jono in 2nd, Razor in 3rd, and we start 4th. Notably Danny in this lobby, she makes her ROOZ debut. Wouldn't show up for the rest of the season unfortunately due to other commitments as Kart Dude blatantly jumps the start. She also had shifting issues with her wheel which has since been repaired. In our modern cars she's used to being around Kart Dude basically, who's on pole for this race, so clearly had some form of issues in this race. Anyway, we're battling early on with Nige, who pulls out of that, and we've gone very deep into that chicane. Still getting used to the car, very much a different handling beast. And
okay, you've been pushing your luck on the track limits too much. We've been given a 3-second penalty.
I hadn't really, Jeff. That was my first warning and a first penalty. But these things sometimes happen. Anyhow, it was a pretty bad corner cut, we'll be real.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Started to get used to the car and started catching up, but there was a barrier glitching out really badly. We'll have a look on board with Danny. The barrier was actually worse for her, and that's the consequence if you hit it. I happened to know that at the time, luckily, and there's actually 2, that hitting them was very dangerous. I mean, luckily damage is off for her, but this was an incident waiting to happen for pretty much anyone in the lobby as Stig goes a bit wide there. That barrier actually wasn't as bad for certain people. Some people didn't see it at all, apparently. Some people it was right in the middle of the track, blocking the racing line. Some people just off to the side. And you'll see how that kind of affects me during this race. At the moment we've gone around the outside of the hairpin on our championship rival, taking his position, but only 2 laps later make the exact same mistake he made, going wide there. He gets a fantastic run coming out of the chicane, and he'll retake the position around the outside if he can brake late enough. You'll notice there's a tiny bit of lag. I've watched his footage as well. There's a little bit of lag between us, but not nearly as bad as the Mexican shunt we had in race 2. We hold him off for a little bit longer. He goes for a massive attack down the inside, pulls out of it. Unfortunately, this barrier, which was coming out, actually clipped me a little bit. I had to try and avoid it, and that momentum just allowed him through easily. The barrier wasn't as far onto the track on his screen as it was on mine, and you can see I actually went underneath it at that point. I end up pitting last, just to see if any overcut might work. Didn't really. I come out right behind 2nd place. Razor, of course, fantastic job. He must be very much used to these cars. Went off and dominated the race as Kart Dude served his drive-through. This lapped car, a familiar GTR.
Okay, this is Jeff. I need you to stop cutting the corners.
What can I say about that? That was really quite unfair to get that penalty.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
Anyhow, we'll try and get past Stig. We don't know if he has any penalties or not. We did notice that he does like to cut across drivers. Get the nose down the inside there. Unfortunately, still not used to the brakes. He gets back through. These things are going to happen when you're not used to the car. As Jeff interrupts us once again, I was really caught out by Stig's early brake there. More an avoiding manoeuvre than an overtaking manoeuvre. I'm glad I didn't hit him. We're going to go try and around the outside here. Will he leave us any space? Well, no.
If you continue to cut corners, the stewards will give you a penalty.
And we'll have to let him back through for that. Lap 32. Nose was down the inside. He still apexes the corner though, curiously. Usually he'd leave some space, but I could tell he was weak into this corner. And it was only a matter of time before I was able to pull off a move like this. He still went for the apex despite me being right there. And of course, that meant I couldn't turn as hard and I couldn't leave him any room because he was pit maneuvering me basically. Could have been a little bit of lag, but I have watched his footage and he could have given a bit more space on the first part of the corner. Anyhow, we fall behind him due to those 2 penalties. One of which was of course my fault, despite it being the first warning. And the second of which, well, I think I was a bit hard done by. P3 will take it. Not used to these cars at all. Back in real cars next week. I've been Jacko. See you in Silverstone.